Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The shadow knows.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Gray Man Prepping. It's Tactical Tuesday, and we're going to talk about tactics, gear, and more. But more importantly, tonight being the last Tuesday of the month, we're going to visit some of the fear porn idiots. So how's everybody doing out there? Let me get back over here on comments, and we're going to see who's all in here. Let me go back up to the top here. So first one in tonight was CB from Hugo Homestead. Next one was Aideneer. And then we had Super Scout come in. He's lurking in the garden. And then we have Kaylin Strain, Cindy Rice. All righty. So, yeah, we're going to take a minute or two here for some more people to come in before we jump on this. There is some things I want to talk about. And it's going to take me a second because I was going to grab the ones I had in the freezer and bring them out or show you. But instead, I'm just going to jump on back here and pull it up here. Because even for preppers, this is something you might want to consider having. Because you're not necessarily going to lose your power. So you'll still have a freezer. But this would give you something that to keep an eye on things for kids. So hang on a second here while I bring this up over here and go back searching through my purchases on Amazon and try to find the thing I want to show you. And let's see here. Nope. Tab 2. I got about 8 tabs to go through, and we're already through most of them here, going through. And there we go. I knew I'd find it quick enough. Okay. Let me get it large there. Bring this up here. Okay, and bring it up here. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. If you have kids or grandkids or nieces and nephews, this might be something you're interested in. And got a couple more popping in here. Say hi, Emma. Howie, Food Forest Permaculture is in the house. Howie, stick around. I may drop the link for you. And Idaho Garden Girl is here. So while we're waiting for some more people to come in, I want to talk about this. This is something I got for my grandkids. And they just love it. Because for these things here, what I do is they got two different. It's got 2 of the one size and one set, 2 sets of 6 on the one side, and 1 set of 6 on the other side, and you can do a lot of neat things with them. What I have done with these is used apple juice or grape juice or orange juice in them and give them a real frozen juice bar. Hey, Suburban Hillbilly, how's it going? So this is what something I really think that all homesteaders and preppers should have something like this. That way you can make some cold treats for the hot summer days and stuff. That'll actually A, keep the kids cool, and B, keep them happy at the same time. Hey, Cindy Rice. Did I say Cindy already once? No, that was the other. Okay, yeah, I did. Okay, she said bugs are the worst. Back up there. Okay, I'm just trying to keep up with everybody, make sure I don't miss anybody. All righty, so this is one of the things to you might want to consider looking at some of these. This was you get 6 of the small ones, 10 of the large ones for $14. Boom, not bad at all. All right, hey Laura, how's it going? All right, so let me pull back over here for a second, and I can drop that down, make it go bye-bye. All righty, so let's go over with this, and we'll get into tonight's topic a little bit, start working our way into it here. So tonight's topic is after the pest attack and your food. And YouTube won't want me to finish that. So after the pest attack and your food supply has been wiped out, your garden's gone, what are your plans now? And so that's kind of what we're going to be talking about here tonight. And so let me go ahead and go through this, and then I'll drop the link for a few of these to, Caitlin got it. After Gil's frozen, what are you going to do? All the secret information I have, you can't get to him. All right. So the next one here. Warning, warning. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger, Will Robinson. Fantasy fair porn. Kool-Aid drinking zone ahead. Yes, we're going to be talking about what some other channels are putting out there, getting people stirred up about, and then we'll talk about the truth. So, yeah, so we're going to go first, and then we'll talk about the truth. Hey, Kathy, how's it going? All right, so first off, the pests are not necessarily going to be insects. It could be other things. Yes, it can be the insects, the locusts buzzing around, the grasshoppers, the crickets, whatever you want to call them. It could be those. And if they come in the right way, it can really make things bad. And of course, back in, different types of birds can actually pick your crops clean before they've even sprouted. If you go out and you seed the ground, you may find them come in here and they're just scratching and digging and going after it, and they're eating your seed, eating the worms and everything else. So that's something else to consider. But we got all these fun bugs buzzing around, and they're just this big and ugly, and they want to chew your stuff up. And some channels are saying, there's going to be these locust swarms coming from Africa, and they're going to make it across the Atlantic, and they're going to wipe out all our food and stuff. They're going to start in Florida and Georgia and North and South Carolina, and they're just going to come across. They're going to wipe out all the trees. They're going to wipe out all the alfalfa, cotton, whatever it is. They're going to just wipe out all the plants and leave nothing in their wake. And then, of course, what comes up every 17 years? I just lost it. Begins with a C. Makes the loud noise bug. All right, who's going to pop it in? Probably going to be Kaylin coming up with the right word here first. Cindy got it. All right, yeah. Casetas. There we go. And so they come up every 17 years. And what's weird, I swear I've heard more stories about swarms on them than every 17 years. like every 5 years. Oh, the ones over here are going to be swarming. Another 5 years. The ones over here are going to be swarming. So who knows, on these things, when and how they're going to pop up, but in what areas. And then they've got these little fly things that come in here and lay their larvae, which just eat crops and stuff. And the little things get in there. And these are not mosquitoes. Excuse me. I had to take a cough drop. I was out working and the wind was blowing. I was trying to mow, so I got all sorts of the grass dust and crap everything up. And my allergy pill's not cutting it. So let me get a little water. And sea bass is in the house. Woohoo! So you got all sorts of bugs causing all sorts of different problems. And then you got the big bugs. Yes, this is real, folks. This is a real bug in somebody's hand. Who is going to name this bug? And wait a minute, that's not the only one. Are you ready for the next one? Ooh, nice facial decorations. Food Forest A, that ain't no June bug. The in back here, the lined here. I mean, it's flexible. It's not one hard shell or two hard parting shells like a June bug. This is one of those other ones that has wings out separate and goes crawling into things. And I know Garden Girl says that's one. That big one is a cicada. Hey, Gear. I see someone saying hi to Gear, but I don't see Gear making a comment. There he is. All right. Someone's faster in talking to Gear than he is at showing up. So that's a big cicada, whatever. And these are smaller ones. So there are different variants of the cicada bugs. So, yeah, tough chick is right, man. She's probably just waiting. Get a couple more here, and then I'm going to plop them into the stir fry pan and cook them up. All right, and I think that's the last one I have here. No. Oh, that's right. More locusts, yeah. So we got a lot more locusts just buzzing around, just taking care of things, wiping stuff out. And this is over on, you can see the ocean over on the left-hand side here, middle. You can see the little strip of the ocean there showing up. And so at night, yeah, they're just flying everywhere. And that's what they look like getting into twilight time. And so, and there they are staying on a tree somewhere, just waiting. So, and that's it. All right. All right. So I went with that. So I'm going to talk about the fear porn side here now. But first, I'm going to drop that down so I can get it out of the way in case I need to bring something else up here. All right. So, and I'll drop the link here in a few minutes here. Howie and anybody else that wants to talk about their pest problems currently. And locusts are all right. It's like saying, aren't all cows Highlander cows, or aren't all cows Brahma bulls? Grasshoppers and locusts may be of the similar family, but there are different species within the family. All right, so like I said, some of these channels talked about different scenarios behind the bugs, the pests. And generally they're talking bugs, all right? But pests, we're going to expand it a little bit. But they're talking about how the, when the cicadas come out, they're going to be so ravenous, they're going to strip all the plants in this area, or the locusts are coming over from Africa, or the crickets are going to make another sweep through the Midwest, or different things. They're talking about all the different types of naturally existing insects like this that are in the United States that are going to wipe out our food crop because there's going to be something happening. The population is going to explode. Then, I mean, some of these channels go on and on. And I'll make a comment. Wow, one time they're talking about grasshoppers coming and wiping everything out. I go, oh, you mean like it happened to the Mormon pioneers? And he goes, yes, yes, yes. And the seagulls came and ate up all the crickets and wiped out the crickets. No, that's never going to happen again. Really? You got the inside track to that, dude? How do you know that's not going to happen again? Yeah, so some of these guys, they take history and apply only the part that they like to their scenario of insanity. Hey, Jewish redneck prepper. And so a lot of them get really offensive when you start, pointing things out. And of course, this guy, deleted my comments off his channel, and it's like, right, dude, bye. And so there are a lot of pests and stuff. And so so with the birds and stuff, the birds can be both a double-edged sword. They can be helpful on one side and be a threat on the other. The birds can come in while you're seeding and stuff, and they can eat up all the seed, or they can come in when the plants are little shoots, and they go after the plants and everything else, and they wipe out your garden. Or you get the grasshoppers coming in, and the birds come in and start gobbling up grasshoppers or squash bugs or whatever other type of bug you have. And I froze. Whatever type of bug you have that is threatening your crops. So with the birds, this kind of falls back into, hey, Mary Beth Smith and Dioris. So this kind of falls back into what the video that came out earlier today on Stringfield Ridge Farm. Teresa was talking about knowing your enemy. So actually, I need to bring this up over here. Hang on a second. I need to bring it up over here because I need to put this in here. I don't want to put it over on the fake book. Oh, speaking of which, attention, fake book. Nobody owns the copyright to everything going on here today, right now, except for me. I own the copyright. Okay, this is my voice, me going on, and stop saying that someone or allowing someone to make a copyright claim. I want you to send me all their information, anyone that wants to try to make a copyright claim on this video, so I can sue them and have them arrested under federal law for copyright violation, because I own the copyright. And if you looked back at the beginning, it was there in the beginning lead-in that it was copyrighted. And let me bring it up here. Make this large again here on the side here. Guess what here? There it is right there. There's the copyright. This video is copyrighted by me. So up yours, fake book. Okay, yeah. The last 5 videos that I've shared out on Facebook, somebody keeps throwing up a copyright claim on it, but they won't tell me who they are. They won't give me any information about them. So Facebook is being a real socialist, communist, Nazi jerks. So Facebook. All right. So we got, yeah. Well, that's not a new one. That's been around since, when was it? The late 30s. Yeah. When they got one of their breeders into the certain building there, and he started on his radio programs referring to the United States as a democracy when it is not, never has been, hopefully never will be. It is a republic. Don't believe me? Say the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, let's get back here to the stuff at hand here. All right, let me get in here, and so I can throw up the link out here for there we go. Actually, that's not going to throw the right link, but that is going to allow me to put the right link in the right spot. Okay, Control C. All right, Howie, there is the link. Anyone else of the normal friends and cohorts? There's the link, and how you can come on up and we can talk bugs, good bugs, bad bugs, and why the entire country's food is not going to get wiped out by an invasion of bugs in one shot. Hey, Joe's in the house? Yeah, Joe's in the house. That's right. He was up there earlier. Garden State Gardener. I forgot to say hi to Garden State Gardener. Oh. And of course, if you were over on Camp Patton Family Compound last night, you'll realize that Garden State Gardener was the big winner last night on the giveaway. Homestead Aquarius. Hey, how's it going? All right. So anybody wants to come up and help talk about bugs and stuff, pests, good, bad, ugly, indifferent. I put the link there so you guys can come on up and talk about the problems you have in your area with bugs. Because one of the things interesting I noticed is back in California, the white moth. What is the bug that goes with the white moth? The worm. And here is our fellow Earthling.
Hey.
Yeah. So back in California, the little white moth thing flitting around, the cabbage moth or whatever it is, that was a problem in California.
Yeah, you don't have enough wasps. Wasps killed the cabbage moth. Yeah. Very simple.
Yeah, and this is in the San Francisco Bay Area there, and so everybody in their neighborhood, we got wasps out there spraying stuff in their yard and everything else, killing off the good
bad
bugs.
News.
Yeah.
Not only do they kill the cabbage moth, but they kill a lot of other bad things like cabbage worms, and the list is endless. The wasp is a meat eater. Let them be. Let them have at them.
Yeah, and so let me think here. Sorry, I'm having a brain fart. It's only 82 degrees in here right now.
It's warm here too.
Oh man,
cool though.
Yeah, and I can't. Last night I opened the windows at about 8:30 Mountain Time. I got a couple of windows with the new screens on to keep all the bugs outside where they belong.
You have to.
And the temperature was 75 degrees outside still. It was 77 indoors. It was 75 outdoors. So, all right, it's 2 degrees lower. So, when I got up this morning, though, the inside of the house had only cooled down to 69 degrees.
Pretty warm.
Pretty warm. And it's going to be even hotter tomorrow. But as far as for bugs and stuff, in our gardens in California, my wife and I's garden, my mom's garden, my grandmother's garden, the cabbage moth, the tomato hornworm, aphids, and gophers. The gopher is a pest. It is a pest. And I didn't even think about it till just now. A gopher is a pest, and it can wipe out a garden area real quick. Also,
they're a nuisance.
Just start falling over dead.
The gopher stew is not bad, eh?
Uncle Al knows how to cook that.
Oh, sure, I do too. Yeah, you boil them for 5 or 6 hours first, and then just bake them in the oven.
The only thing I'm worried about gophers, and I'm not sure, I could be totally not worrying about something right. Do gophers get fleas?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Ticks too.
Yeah, so that's the only thing about that's one of the things it's like squirrels, no, chipmunks, no, gophers, no. A lot of those things that I don't like.
Before you eat the gopher, check the liver, because the gopher can bring you all kind of disease. The young gopher, young raccoons are pretty safe because they haven't been around garbage too much, It's the older ones that have been exposed, in the ground. You don't know what's in the ground too much.
Hello.
Hey, Laura. The older ones
that have been
exposed,
Let me-
in the ground. You don't know what's in the ground too much.
Hello.
Hey, Laura. The older ones. Laura, you got to go back and turn off your.
I'm trying to do it.
Sorry. Laura, you got to go back and turn off your.
I'm trying to do it.
Sorry.
Go to the right tab and go.
Yeah, just mute me for a second.
Go to the right tab and go.
Yeah, just mute me for a second.
Just mute you. Okay, all right. And there you go. You muted for a second. Wave at me like this when you're ready. And you ready? Wave at me like this when you're ready. Nope. Sounds like you still got the echo going. Ready? Wave at me like this when you're. Yeah, so I'm muted again. So one of the things that I've heard a lot of the homesteaders talking about, and that is the squash bugs.
That's interesting. You're going to bring that up. I was just on Danny at Happy Farms about that, and their vine borers, squash borers, and if you have your biochar, your wood ash in the soil, on a constant basis, and they don't like to crawl through it. And then the number one thing you got to remember is polyculture when you're growing anything to stop cicadas and bugs, but clay put in water and then sprayed on your vine, and then the clay borer, it's so rough they can't eat, you see, because it just tears a hole in them. So you got to go with nature. If you've got a locust coming, say like cicadas or grasshoppers or whatever it is, you got to remember that clay is your best friend. The clay and water and spraying, because they can't eat it, and then that's just a foliar feed for the plant. Yeah. But again, when you mix your plants all together, that's what your protection is from a lot of bugs, and animals are going to eat them. Like a rat or a mouse don't like it if you have lemon balm and mint around. Ticks don't like mint. Yeah. They split. And it's polyculture at its best. It's a guild. It's called GUILD.
Speaking of mint and mice, my daughter went and bought a couple of those 6-packs or 12-packs, whatever, of the Irish Spring mint soap bars. Yeah, they work for a lot of things, and she heard that they work for mice too. So she put a bunch around down in her food storage on the shelves and stuff.
They ate it.
Dear.
They went around it to get at some of the boxes of food.
Sure. Well, she tried.
She tried. I mean, you open it, you go down, and it's like, whoa, man! It smells like the laundry aisle or the soap aisle at the grocery store. But they were still coming in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They'll go around it. If you look at my food forest here, and you look at the neighbor, okay? The neighbor's got all kinds of problems. You look at my food forest, I don't have a problem. And it's because I've done polyculture, and I encourage people to get some clay and water, biochar and wood ash. And it's the leaf borer, the wireworm, and the click beetle is your worst enemy. And them two are stopped with biochar and wood ash. In nature, a fire happens, so there's biochar and wood ash on the ground. So it's there.
I have just a bunch on my property, so I will use that tip. Thank you.
I have on a half acre, I grow thousands of pounds of food. Hey, last week I gave 350 pounds to the food bank.
That's awesome, Howie.
I just couldn't. Thank you kindly. I just can't use it all. But if you look on the different properties that don't have polyculture, that don't have guild, they have problems. Yeah. They even have problems on their house. There's moss growing on it and algae and stuff. So it's where I put zinc in my paint when I painted the house. See, so I don't have that growing on my house. People ask me, "How come you never have moss? How come you never have this?" I'm like, "Well, I put zinc there. You put zinc strips on your roof. It's zinc repels mold, yeast, and fungus. We won't
Okay.
have them. My house doesn't have black mold, but every house in British Columbia has to be torn down every 30 or 40 years because of black mold. This house is built in 1948. But as soon as I came here,
Howie, I
right
got a
away,
question for you on that. Got a question on that about zinc and fungus. So my
Sure.
lawn, when I water it enough so the lawn is green and lush, I get these little miniature mushrooms growing out there. Little
that's
brown
mycelium.
caps.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
The brown cap mushrooms are good.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're seeing mushrooms, Gil, that's the flowers of mycelium. And mycelium goes through the soil, and that's the super highway of nutrient delivery. Okay. Now, when you got rain, there's nitrogen in that rain. So nematodes, they digest nitrogen, and then it goes on to this mycelium, which is able to transport it to your plants and your trees. So when you see mushrooms go, yay, you're happening.
Because I was worried about with the grandkids coming over and them finding one of those and trying to eat it.
Rubberheads, black caps, stuff like that. You'll see a dangerous mushroom. No bug is eating it. Okay,
yeah.
Like Amanita muscaria, they're red with white dots on them.
Yeah,
those are highly hallucinogenic and they can kill you. But if it's not being eaten by a bug, I wouldn't touch it. Right?
All right.
But that's not the golden rule either.
Yeah.
Know your mushrooms.
These little mushroom things, for the most part, I mean, they're smaller than my fingernail, my little fingernail.
Probably still asylums, maybe.
Okay, I wasn't sure because in some
don't
areas
eat them.
It comes up. Now the other thing I was wondering about is you're talking about so these type mushroom fungus with the Malicine, or how do you pronounce it? I'm just getting tongue tied here. If you were to make a zinc solution and spray it over the and I froze.
Yeah,
if I sprayed that over the lawn, would that kill off the mycelium as well? Or
if you want to kill the mycelium, throw a little salt on the lawn.
No, I don't want to kill the mycelium. I was just wondering if I spray some of this, get some zinc powder.
It would stop moss from growing. It wouldn't stop anything else. It would stop moss.
Okay, I'm not worried about moss. I'm not worried about moss or algae. I was just worried about.
But the mushrooms,
fungi.
Your best bet, Gil, is to run them over with a lawnmower, and then they're gone, right? And that picks it up. That's the best bet. If you don't know what they are, get rid of them, especially around kids.
Yeah.
There's kids that die here every year. Rubber caps. That's what they call them. I don't remember the Latin name, but
these are brown. These are brown top mushrooms.
Brown caps even. Yeah. You don't mess with the mycelium world until you get an expert to show you for a long period of time, like 3 to 6 months, everything, or a couple of seasons, and then you can try stuff. But find some old person in your area that does wild crafting. A young wild crafter is good too if they've learned from an old wild crafter. That's cool. The golden rule with mycelium. I belong to the Southern Vancouver Island Mycelium Association, so I put up a few videos over the years on it. But my golden rule is, when in doubt, throw it out.
Yeah.
Don't touch it.
Well,
don't even touch it.
Yeah, Cindy says that her grandmother was born in 1906, and that they would collect mushrooms. They'd cook them with an onion. If the onion turned black, they were poisonous.
I've heard of it. I know.
Okay.
I never did it.
So, so there's one possibility too. I can get an onion and cook it in one of my old camping pans.
I still wouldn't eat it though.
No, I know. I would just I'm not going to eat it. If it doesn't turn black and everything, and it's like, okay, maybe these aren't poisonous, and I can just ignore them.
Right.
Yeah.
Except when I run them over the lawnmower.
Once you get used to a few mushrooms, you can utilize them too. Like the Amanita muscaria, that's fly agaric, right? So you can mix a little sugar and the Amanita muscaria, the white spots, you take them and put them on there, and you put it in a little cap somewhere up high where animals don't get at it, and the flies come and eat it and die. So that's your fly repellent. But that's Amanita muscaria. It's called fly agaric. And I've used that quite often. And good thing I just thought of it because I have a few flies buzzing around here. And I've put up a couple of sticky tapes. I forgot all about it until right now in this show here.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes we know so much and everything, and we forget about it till, oh, wait a minute, this little tidbit here.
Yeah.
Yeah. The, so Howie, what's some of these prepper channels, or should I say fear porn channels, are spreading out there about insects coming in? I don't know of any single insect that could come to the United States and wipe out all 48 continuous states of our food supply. It's
because of monoculture. If you only plant corn here and in the next field soybeans there, and then and the list like, and you're not doing polyculture, that can happen. But as long as there's guys like me that have a food forest and other people that do guilds, like you go on edible landscapes and stuff like that, and preppers now. Like I was watching, I don't know if I should say this, the Canadian prepper today, Nate. There, he was one of my very first subscribers to my channel, many years ago. But today he put out a nice video. He went to see this other guy, but I can't say his name too much. But and he put sea buckthorn here, and then he put several other types of trees that were prickly, like spruces and stuff here. He's in Saskatchewan. So when you try to attack his place and behind it over to his house, it's all clear. He can snipe you, you see. But you have a hard time coming through that. Mm-hmm. So he uses permaculture. Nate's buddy, the Canadian prepper guy, his buddy uses permaculture to protect his property, and I do the same thing for privacy too. And for you to come into the property, you have to come through goji bushes, rose bushes, blackberry bushes, so you can get a little torn up. And then my motion cameras are going to pick you up. The dog's going to bark, and I got you. Yeah. So just love planting trees around the outer perimeter of your property and follow it in towards your house, and then keep an open area, and you'll see bugs, you'll see grasshoppers coming, you'll see birds. Oh, okay, so you got 1 million cicadas coming. Okay, well, right away you break out the clay. You put the clay inside the water, mix it up, and spray everything, and cicadas can't eat. They can't chew the clay because it cuts a hole in them and they die, and then they become nutrients. See? And it's all how you affect, like I forget, one person on there said, you break out the flamethrower. Well, if you're doing that, there must be 100,000 million cicadas after you, which doesn't happen, And the clay, biochar, wood ash, and dormant oil. Never forget your dormant oil if you have orchards. And that covers up scabs that grow, that they have their seed. I'm going to call it seed. That's not what it is, but it goes onto the apple and stuff. And that covers it up. And clean your fruit trees. I know it sounds crazy, but get your toothbrush out there. Clean it off before you put your dormant oil on when the tree is asleep. When people put copper sulfate on their fruit trees, and especially in the tropics, to stop fungus, right, and bugs. Yeah. Well, if you do dormant oil on the tree, then that doesn't have an ability to come through that. It just dies in there and just falls off.
So how do you put that dormant oil on the tree?
Or just spread it on with your hand if you have to on the main trunk and then the branches. And like when you see people spraying next door to you, try to educate them, like, look, you're just killing one bug and another one's going to get a larger population. But if you say, hey, put dormant oil on your fruit trees, and that stops it from cracking too. You ever see fruit trees and they got the big cracks in it?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that stops that because it's able to be elastic, And once you've got a crack on a fruit tree, you've got disease, and then the fruit tree doesn't produce very much. For myself, I only take dead off fruit trees unless I'm opening up for a little extra sun inside, and then I put vines, grapevines, passion fruit, and this type of thing and kiwi into the tree itself, and then what I do is I let it grow only at hand height, let it grow through the whole tree. So I'm still able to pick everything. So I get the fruit from the fruit tree, and then I get all these vine crops. But the thing is, if you put a row climbing rows in there, then you have hummingbirds coming. They're pollinators.
Yeah.
So it's called polyculture yields. Do a little research in that area, and you'll never have a bug problem. You just won't. I don't have anything problem. Oh, sorry. I had some deer yesterday that ate my beefsteak tomatoes.
Wow. I didn't know they ate tomatoes.
I didn't either. I had they're like 2 or 3 feet tall, all full of flowers, and I'm like, oh yeah, I got it right in my driveway. Hey, so the radiant heat off the driveway, and then the pony wall, the rock wall, giving more heat, and I put my watermelons there and stuff like tropical type things, cucumbers and stuff. They ate all the beefsteaks, and they were gumming good too. But I still have 13 other kinds of tomatoes growing that are loaded. But they went for the beefsteaks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to put a fence out on my property around the garden. Really good.
Well, the thing is, Sepp Holzer, what he did was he had elk coming in. He lived in the Bavarian mountains. So what he did, he burned bones on the barbecue till they're like really burnt good and mushy. And then he put it on the outer perimeter where the deer were coming in, and beavers, believe it or not, were coming in and chewing down his trees. So they would smell these burnt bones and leave. So that's something to look at.
I wonder if that would work. We got a lot of woodchucks and stuff like that. So
and ribbon. Like say 10-foot long ribbon in the tree, and that movement makes an animal really spooky, very spooky. It doesn't like it. And a rabbit, if he's just moving, a rabbit's going to take off. If there's moving, a rat's going to take off. Deer, same thing. I mean, the deer go out in the field for a reason, because they don't want to be in the forest when it's windy and raining, because they have sensors in their hooves.
Yeah,
and they can't sense anything because of the rain, so they want to see. Now they're relying on visual. So they go out into the middle of the field. You see them in meadows. That's why they're there. Normally they're hiding in the trees and eating on the edge of the meadow. But if it's raining, all the thundering on the ground, they can't, they can't feel the predator. It's in their roots and their sensory. But today, I must say, I live in Saanich, British Columbia, and I witnessed a shootout. I witnessed the shootout at the bank.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, if you Google it, I'm right there, and the SWAT teams are shooting the guys. The guy shot 6 cops. The cops shot 2 other guys right in front of me. Right in front of me. Yeah, that was the highlight of my day. But I felt bad for the 3 policemen. They got taken out pretty good, but they killed the 2 robbers, the bank robbers. I hope that's okay to say on here, Gil.
Well, hey, it's the news. Go Google the news. Check it out.
Savage, British Columbia.
Did any of the cops die?
Wow.
Yeah, the cops. There were 6 police officers wounded, 3 critically, but the 2 bank robbers they took out. But these guys are running down the street. I watched them. They had AR-15s, and they were running down the street.
Well, they deserved it.
And I was just like, this is Canada, man. You never see this unless you're over in the big city, right? And so my girlfriend, we got down behind the car, where the wheel well is, and I got in there, and then they all chased down the street. It was fantastic to see. I mean, it wasn't great that the cops got hurt or anything, but it was fantastic that I was to be there at that time to see it all.
And Howie, let me guess, you forgot to go and stick your phone up over the top of the car.
No, I didn't forget. Ooh. What it was, I didn't have it with me.
Oh no! And you were shooting yourself because you didn't.
I was going to the doc's office. I spent a few days at the hospital with my disease. It's traveled into my eye and into my brain.
Howie.
Had to get thank you kindly. I had to get some medical procedures done. So I didn't have. You're not allowed to have your phone at the hospital inside, so I left it out, and it was in the car when it happened, and then we parked at the store. But the shootout was incredible. There's about 60 to 70 bullets flying, and you could hear the bang, 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 ping, 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 ping. I'm like, I grabbed my girlfriend. I said, "Get over here." We got down behind the wheel well. That wheel well is the best place to be, right?
So everybody was asking where Howie was lately, and that's probably where you were. You were busy taking care of yourself.
Yeah, I have a serious, well, it's a terminal illness that I'm fighting. So,
Yeah, I know.
so I look after myself pretty darn good, but
Us poop troopers were worried about you and thinking about you.
yeah, they're sweethearts. Courtney's a sweetheart, and
Yeah.
Gil's a great channel, and your channel is a really good channel too. There's a lot of good channels on here, but we're here to talk about fighting bugs. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, fighting
And bank
pests.
robbers.
Pests.
well,
Whether
whether
it's a bird, grasshopper, gopher, squirrel, whatever.
Okay.
Like mice. We have a lot of mice in the field
Yeah.
at the property.
Coyotes, don't kill the coyotes. If
Oh.
you've got mice, do not kill coyotes.
Yeah.
That's number one mice killer. Number
we have
one.
coyotes really heavy too, probably because we have so many mice.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah.
and I wanna have
Mice,
chickens and-
introduce some mint into your field.
okay.
Yeah, and mice, they can't smell their food, their nuts or seeds that are on the ground or whatever, because they're covered in mint in their sensory.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I know you guys are all experienced farmers and whatnot, and you know, Gil, I know a lot about, because I know he's attempted and been successful at growing his own food. But there's always something, if you stand back and watch what's going on, you'll see more. But if you're right up there and angry with it all and going, you won't
Right.
see as much.
Right, exactly.
You got to stand back and have a cup of tea and find the old people. The old people know what to do. But my best advice is your biochar, wood ash, clay, dormant oil, and mint plants, polyculture guilds, and you'll always have a supply of food. You won't have it where a machine can come and harvest it, but you'll always have food, and your neighbors will too, in your community. And that's the key here.
I had a good garden in Oregon, and I have a tiny little garden here, but I'm learning how to grow in Tennessee now. And so, you know, the different weather, the different, you know, it's interesting.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. With the Laura, you're talking about all the mice in your field.
yeah.
When I got the rototiller on that Bobcat and I was rototilling the field, I took out more gophers than I did mice or voles. But I took I took out a bunch of, because I'm going along and it's going, all of a sudden, there goes the gopher, gets thrown out in front, and he's like, what the?
Yeah.
He's looking around, sees the big old thing going, coming after him. And some were done. Oh, I got to go hide under there.
Yeah, we'll probably disc before we start like putting in grasses and stuff, so that will probably help too.
Yeah.
Might want to look up.
The thing is, with the disking, you know, turns it a little bit, cuts it a little bit, but it doesn't chop it enough. Because I know I took out a bunch of gophers. I took out about 7 or 8 mice. They were harder because they kept on, bouncing faster and just, take off like a road runner.
Sure.
Yeah.
But the one thing I did not kill, and I stopped and I chased it out of there, was a big old gardener snake. And it was out there and it was going through the top of the grass and stuff and everything, and looked back at me. I get close and I would sit there just waiting to push down, so I'd really shake the ground. He'd take off, and I got him to go out near the edge into the neighbor's field. And so, all right, come back later on and hunt the mice after I get them all scared out of here.
Yeah. I don't really want to till or do any of that stuff, but
sparrows and starlings are your worst bird enemies. They'll take fruit right off the vine or the bush, but robins will only eat fruit off the ground, or if it's fermented.
So I'll have to look at birdhouses that attract robins.
Well, the thing is that what you got to remember about birds are, they're feed for owls and Cooper's hawks. So if you have a few owl houses, that gets rid of all the mice, because they got to feed their little ones like 2, 3, 4, 5 mice a day.
But if I want chickens, they take care of chickens too. That's the problem.
Well, yes, that's what chicken wire's for, though.
Yeah.
Your chicken tractor. You have to try to be with nature. The more you fight her, the more problems and pests you're going to have.
Yeah,
But
true.
I have owls here, and I don't have any mice. But my neighbor just took down his shed. It was a big shed, and he put up like a little tiny home. And all the mice came into my forest. Within a week, they were dead. The owls that I provide homes for, they just took care of the problem. And the mice that were probably about maybe 25, 30 mice came here, and within 7 days they were gone. And then I noticed the owls, there's 3 or 4 types of owls here. They have to migrate now to find mice.
Yeah.
So you know, it's if you go with nature, the Cooper hawk, he'll take out the bunnies and the bald eagles and stuff. So when you make a food for, especially a large, like 30, 40, 50 acre one, you'll have like a zoo.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
One of the things we did to keep, because all right, in California, in the backyard, there's one Granny Smith, one Fuji apple tree. I can't remember the names of some of the orange trees, but we got 3 orange trees. Then we had 2 cherries, 3 apricots, a nectarine, a peach, and then some lemon trees and stuff. But the birds were just decimating the cherry trees and the apricot trees. And the one year I strung up between the house and the shop on the other side of on the back fence line, a bunch of fishing line, and I hung old DVDs.
That'll help. Yeah.
And so then with a long string on it, they'll spin one way for a while, and then they'll spin the other way for a while, and
put a bunch in a chain.
Yeah,
it's like a daisy chain.
Yeah,
and that really works good. You're right, Gil. That's the trick. That and pie pans.
Yeah, I've seen pie pans in our area.
Laura, sorry, when you get your chicken set up over there running stuff, if you don't want to put the chicken wire over the top, put some boards stick boards going up a little bit and string fishing line across and hang a bunch of CDs and stuff up there. It does 2 things. If you have the strong fishing line, any bird that flies into it's going to get, what the hell in there, they're not going to, they're not going to want to come back, especially if they hit it 2 or 3 times. They're going, hey, wait a minute, no, this is not good. And you have all those discs around and stuff,
right?
And that should keep the hawks away in the daytime and owls at night, especially if you have some sort of motion.
I'm gonna have to get a guard dog or something because we have big birds of prey.
Dogs are great, especially small little yappy ones.
Oh, I've got a small little yappy one.
We'll get 3 or 4. I have 2 min pins, and I say get them. And if I see a mouse and they're on it and they kill that mouse, like right now, Robbie Burns is the male and the female is Mama Bear Yoda. They work as a team, and I send them through the food forest every morning. And every now and then you'll see a little mouse come out, and they don't kill the birds, though.
Yeah.
They leave the birds alone. They're curious that they're not, there's like the new birds learning to fly. Mm-hmm. They're very curious. But if the mouse is looking like he's sketchy, they're all over them right now. Yeah. But Mama Bear got beat up last year by a big rat. She got right through her front paw, the mouse or the rat bit her. But then Robbie Burns came in behind and got him. And I just went, oh, geez. I cleaned her up and it was okay. But still, using animals to get rid of other animals, you got to be really careful. Yeah. A bird shot's a lot better, or 22 or crossbow or something, especially the rats. Rats here are big for some reason.
Yeah, we have mice. They're a good size, and they're nice and fat and happy. Because there's so many nuts in Tennessee for them to munch on and get.
Yeah, that's exactly it. If you leave the food around, you're going to have way more rats and mice next year. Don't leave it around for them. Compost it and get rid of it.
Yeah.
Don't leave anything for bears to show up and get, or don't leave anything for mice and rats to have feed to get a stronger colony. Yeah. So yeah, you're if you're in Tennessee, there's all kinds of pecans and everything else that they can,
Yeah, the hawks used to keep the squirrel population down in Martinez 30 years ago, but then the open area where the hawks could hunt a lot of the time became housing tracts, and now the hawks are flying. They got all the wires and stuff, power lines and everything else, and so the hawks are afraid to get down into people's yards. And of course, you got people that, it's a hawk, I gotta kill it. And he's like, no, you don't, you idiot.
No. Live with nature, not against her.
Yeah.
And you'll make out real good. Yeah. I never have a problem at all the other food forests we've built over the years. Only problem I see is when people try to grow a lawn beside a row of lettuce. I mean, you're putting out this smorgasbord for rats and mice and rabbits and everything else, and there's no protection. There's no polyculture. There's not other plants around it to protect it. You see, you're just putting it out and go, here I am, come for lunch.
Right.
Doesn't work. Doesn't work. Yeah. You have to spray a lot of stuff. And
a lot of those fragrant herbs work for that, though.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Not just the mint, right? Like, isn't it thyme or?
Thyme is good.
Mm-hmm.
Suburban Hillbilly is leaving there, and her mama's not well. So I said some prayers earlier for Suburban Hillbilly's mama.
Yep.
We'll keep you in our prayers, Suburban Hillbilly.
Good night, Suburban Hillbilly. Yeah, one of the things we found out that was recommended to us from a friend of mine that works for animal control back in California is to keep the squirrels out and the rats out, because they like to climb up on everyone there has wooden fences, solid wooden fences. So you got your top 2x4 running across either flat or on edge, but it's up high. And the rats and squirrels go up there and they run along that because the part of the fence protects them from view on the other side, and they run along that. Well, he said, get yourself some cayenne pepper powder, mix it with a little bit of peppermint oil in there and witch hazel, and go out there and make sure you got a coarse sprayer that can spray it on the top of the fence. I could have
used that on my property, yeah.
And of course, now having watched Operation Capsation, Garden State Warrior, King Poopa, it's like, no, I'm going to get myself some ghost peppers, put on the hazmat suit, do that up, and smear that stuff along the top of the fence line, and watch the squirrels come and go, ah! But yeah, the thing is with the apple trees, the 2 apple trees there in California, and the 3 apricot trees, the rats at night come from the neighbor's yard. He's got big piles of wood and stuff in the back that he got to burn, but then they banned burning wood in the city, and he hasn't gotten rid of it. And of course, it's infested with rats. And they come over into our yard, and they climb up in the trees and they eat apples. And my wife will come out there, and here's all these gnawed-on apples.
Yeah, squirrels would do that at our house. The squirrels would climb up into the tree, and they would taste them. And it's like, oh, no, it's not ready yet. It's too hard. So they throw it on the ground. And you're just like...
Well, the thing is, the squirrels come out in the daytime. The rats come out at night.
Yeah.
So my wife cleans it up in the morning, goes to work, comes back, cleans it up in the evening, get all the squirrel ones, and she can tell which problem is worse. Was it squirrels or rats by the number out there?
Right. We fought squirrels and then aphids on our pear tree, and it had the best pears on it, and so we used ladybugs for the aphids.
Cindy, these rats are not roof rats. These are Norwegian wharf rats. They invaded the area back in 1963. I think they came in on a ship from Norway into Port Costa, and they spread all over Contra Costa County. And back when I was a little kid, they were the animal control was bringing out these looks like a little tapered ice cream bucket, like a half-gallon ice cream bucket, but it was a waxy stuff that had the poison in it for the rats. And depending on your property size, you got 1, 2, 3, whatever number of buckets. And so when they came to our acre and a quarter, they gave us 10 buckets, because we also had pigeons and chickens And they said, all right, put it around the pigeon building and around the chicken building and around the barn. So, of course, then my uncle was always coming over with his Ruger 1022. He'd come over about 10 o'clock at night with a spotlight strapped to it, and he'd sneak up to the door of the pigeon building.
Probably so much better than the poison.
Ferrets.
He flipped that open, and you hear pat, 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 pat. And then he'd close the door. He would close the door, come back the next morning, and most of the rats were gone because their fellow rats ate them instead of the pigeons.
Yep. Ferrets. Ferrets are your best friend. Get a pair of ferrets. Look, every
illegal in California.
Really? I didn't know that.
They're
probably illegal around here. They use them in the feed barns here.
Yeah, ferrets is not native to California, and they were causing problems when someone tried to bring some in. So they are on the do not bring into the state list.
Right. I didn't know that. I never even heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I love it when I learn something new.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hey, Ginger.
Hey, Ginger Ninja. All right. Oh, we've been on for an hour. We've been having a great time here.
Yeah.
Yep, wonderful.
Yeah.
It's always good to talk about bugs.
Yeah.
And what to do about them.
Yeah. One of the interesting things is my wife has put up several hummingbird feeders in the front yard. So she has a whole bunch of hummingbirds out there now.
That's awesome.
And she has, I forget what the name of the vine is. There's a vine that attracts hummingbirds to it. Mm-hmm. She's got that there. And then she has another vine. And then it's not honeysuckle. It's not honeysuckle, but it's something else that attracts hummingbirds. And then she has another vine. And she talked about both of them on the tour video a year and a half ago.
Clematis, maybe?
And the other one is a one that attracts the monarch butterflies. And it's a vine thing that grows up. And then, of course, then she also has passion vine and a couple other common ones and stuff as well. Monarch
butterflies came right through our property this year, and it was just like, just so cool. And I hope they come through every year. It's just so
they
beautiful.
like Buddleia Davidii, the monarch butterfly loves it. Mm-hmm. They sit on my. They look like long blue flowers. Mm-hmm. And they're all clustered.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cindy and Gear both came in with trumpet vine. It could be trumpet vine, one of the vines.
Could be, yeah.
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 All right. Let's see here. I got to bring something up here real quick here because we are at the time. Okay. So we're at the time here. We're going to wrap this up here real quick. So as far as the fair porn channels that say we're going to be wiped out by insects, ain't going to happen, especially if you, like Hallie says, polyculture and
biochar.
Yeah, and biochar and all that fun stuff. Now,
you're froze.
The other thing is, so in talking about that, there are good plants. I mean, good plants and bad plants, but there are good insects and bad insects. Learn your insects. Find out as Teresa over on Stringfield Ridge Farm did a video out earlier on it. Know your enemy.
Yeah.
Know your friend.
Exactly.
All right. So
know your weapons: biochar, wood ash, dormant oil, polyculture, guilds. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
It was great, Gil. Thank you kindly, Laura. It was a pleasure seeing you.
It was nice.
Always a pleasure. Peace out.
All right. Okay. So coming up here Thursday night here on Gray Man Prepping is going to be at midnight Eastern Time, 11 Central, 10 Mountain, 9 Pacific. Is going to be the midnight ride with Gray Man Prepping. And then on Monday, July 4th, probably not going to do a live on July 4th. Just because 4th of July, everyone should be doing stuff with their family. If I do anything, it's just going to be a video. If I can get my Kindle to work outside where I'm working with the tractor and stuff, I'll just set it up on a tripod and just let it run. You can stop in, look at it, watch some of the stupid stuff or foolish stuff I'm doing with a little tractor. I want a bigger tractor, but the wife said no. And so I'm going to be getting ready. The contractors are coming on Tuesday.
Wow.
Next Tuesday for doing concrete work. They're going to be doing a 12 by 80 foot pad on the back side of the house for a new back patio. And they're going to be doing 45 foot wide, 34 foot deep cement pad for the driveway, first half of the driveway. Then they're coming back on August 1st to do the next 35 feet, which takes us right out to the property line. And I'm not going beyond the property line because the city says you can't put concrete beyond the property line on city property. But you can't put asphalt because asphalt's easier to take out. So maybe later on in September, I'll get an asphalt company out here to pour some asphalt out to the street, and that way I can keep everything nice and clear next year.
Nice.
Joe says no fun day Sunday for this week. He will be recovering. So your prayers for Joe. He has that totally dissected or whatever it's called, where basically his Achilles tendon went boop, not just tore it across.
I'm sorry, Joe.
So he's going in for that. And so that's what's coming up here. Next week here on Tactical Tuesday, we're going to be talking about what is in your get home bag. And we're going to talk about, exactly why a get home bag is something everyone should have in their car, office, whatever, where, multiple locations if you're still working and doing that sort of thing, so you can get home. And we're going to talk about what should be in it and what should not be in there, because you don't want to be carrying a bunch of dead weight when you're trying to get home. So we're going to be talking about that next week. So with that, thank you, Laura, for coming up here. While we're here, and anybody still left in here,
I'm on Wednesday night, tomorrow night.
You're going to be on tomorrow night
at 10.
At 10.
Just me and whoever shows up.
All right, 10 Eastern, Wednesday.
10 Central. So
10 Central.
11 Eastern.
11. I thought you were in Tennessee. I thought you were in Eastern time zone.
Nope.
Oh,
Some of Tennessee, like where Bruce is Eastern, but I'm still Central.
So it's cut down there.
Because I'm in Central Tennessee, so I'm Central.
Okay. So 10 o'clock Central, 11 Eastern, tomorrow night. And so what pests do you have? Have any been a problem so far this year? I know you're just starting out with a small garden.
Ants have been really bad. And cucumber beetle is what I'm dealing with this year.
Cucumber beetle.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. What was it? Shoot, I just did a live.
And gnats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Are the gnats getting in your house?
No. I've got those. I got those stickers that you and Courtney recommended for the outside in the garden, and they work really good on the gnats. So.
Yeah, the gnats go, ooh, yellow, it's a flower.
I even got
it's not a flower.
Oh, I have slugs too, little slugs.
Well, slugs are easy.
Yeah, beer. Slugs are easy. Put some beer out.
Yeah. Get it like, save your mayonnaise lids off your jars. The plastic ones, put them out there for the beer. They don't rust or anything, and then you can bring them back in and use them again the next year.
Right.
Yeah.
I also use those for my jars because they fit on the regular size jars.
Yeah.
When you have jam or something like that, you just put the regular size jars on.
Or if you're dry canning, you have one of those vacuum things you put around it, and then.
Yep.
All righty. All right, so we're going to wrap this up here, folks, and remind everybody: plant a garden, grow food.
That's right, Idaho garden girl.
Yeah. So So I mean, and don't be intimidated about growing. Start small. Don't go hog wild. Start small with a couple things, and when you have a couple successes, enlarge.
And don't give up on your plant if it's been attacked by a pest.
Yeah.
Unless it's totally devastated. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Research it.
I had a couple of the cucumbers out here I planted out here. Something came along about halfway up and ate it off halfway up, and the whole thing went like it was going to die. But I kept watering it, and all of a sudden I got new green growth coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep.
You all be bad.
Yeah. Cut off the leaves that are dying, and then keep on going. Yeah. Because
All right. Well, everyone, we will see you around tomorrow night at 11 Eastern on Hedgehog's Homestead, and then Thursday at midnight Eastern for Gray Man Prepping's Midnight Ride.
Yeah.
And that's just sort of an open chat. We've gone all over the place with that, and the side chat directs it mostly.
Yeah.
All righty, folks. See you around. Take care and stay.